The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky, each one a tiny spark of hope. On the bridge of the small human exploration ship Aurora, Aaron leaned against the rail and watched them twinkle. He had traveled through space for months, and yet the beauty of the stars never failed to fill him with awe. "Still dreaming about the stars?" asked Mila, his friend and fellow crew member. She leaned on the doorway, holding a cup of warm tea. Aaron smiled. "I can't help it. Every star feels like a story waiting to be told." Mila chuckled. "Well, I hope your stories include some work. We have a planet to explore soon?" Aaron nodded. Their mission was to chart a newly discovered planet in a distant system. It was a small world, mostly covered in deep blue oceans with scattered islands. Sensors had shown strange signals from the planet, signals no human had ever heard before. Excitement mixed with nervousness inside Aaron's chest. When the ship finally entered the planet's orbit, the crew prepared to land. The surface shimmered under the light of the nearby sun. Aaron was the first to step onto the soft, wet sand of a small beach. The air was fresh, carrying a faint scent of salt and flowers unlike any he had known. As he walked closer to the water, he noticed movement. Something glided just beneath the surface, smooth and shining. Then from the blue depths a figure emerged. She had shimmering skin that reflected the sunlight almost like liquid silver. Her eyes were deep and bright, showing intelligence and calm curiosity. She looked at him with gentle caution, and Aaron froze, unsure if he should speak. "Hello?" he said softly, raising a hand in greeting. "I'm Aaron. I come in peace." The figure studied him for a long moment. Then she smiled, a smile so calm and warm that it made Aaron's heart beat faster. "I am Lyra," she said in a soft voice that sounded like water flowing. "You are far from your world." "Yes," Aaron replied, smiling back. "I wanted to see what was out here. I didn't expect to meet someone like you." Lyra tilted her head, slightly curious. "Like me?" "Yes," he said, scratching the back of his head. "Your people. You are different, beautiful and peaceful." He realized he sounded awkward, but he could not find another way to explain his awe. Lyra laughed softly, a sound like bubbles rising to the surface. "We are called the Alari. We have lived here for many generations. You are the first human I have seen." Aaron's eyes widened. "The first? That's amazing." He paused, noticing how she moved with grace and ease in the shallow water. "You make this place even more beautiful." Lyra looked away, shy yet intrigued. "Perhaps you make it different too, humans. You are bold, curious, sometimes too bold." "I suppose that is true," Aaron said, smiling. "But curiosity brings discovery. That's why we are here." For a few moments, silence passed between them. The waves lapped gently against the shore. The sunlight danced across the water, and the two beings just looked at each other, learning without words. There was a connection neither fully understood yet, a bridge forming between human and Alari. Finally, Lyra spoke. "You will need to respect the ocean. It is not just water here, it is life. Everything in it is connected, I promise," Aaron said sincerely. "I want to learn. Will you show me?" Lyra considered him, then nodded. "I will, but you must be patient. The ocean teaches slowly, and it tests those who rush." Aaron grinned. "I can wait. I want to understand." As the day went on, Lyra guided Aaron along the shore. She pointed out plants that glowed faintly at night, and creatures that moved in harmony with the waves. Aaron listened and asked questions, fascinated by the world she revealed. He realized that every small detail mattered in this ecosystem. Everything had a purpose, and nothing was wasted. By the time the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Aaron felt a strange warmth in his chest. It was more than admiration for this alien world. It was admiration for her, Lyra. She had shown him a new way of seeing, a gentle understanding of life that humans sometimes overlooked. Lyra looked at him and smiled once more. "Tomorrow we will go deeper into the ocean. There are things you must see, things humans have never imagined." Aaron felt excitement rise like the tide. "I will be ready," he said, and he knew that this was only the beginning. As the stars appeared in the sky above, reflecting in the water, Aaron realized that meeting Lyra was not just a chance encounter. It was the start of something new, something that might change both their worlds. Across the stars, connections could be found even between beings from worlds apart. And for the first time, Aaron felt that the universe was not just full of stars. It was full of possibilities. The next morning, the soft light of dawn colored the sky in gentle shades of pink and gold. Aaron woke early, eager to continue exploring the planet with Lyra. His mind still replayed the memories of their first meeting, the silver shimmer of her skin, the calmness in her eyes, the way she had smiled. He made his way to the beach, where Lyra was already waiting. She moved through the shallow waves as if she belonged to them, her form glowing softly in the early light. "Good morning, Aaron," she said, her voice like flowing water. "Are you ready for the ocean?" "I've been ready since yesterday," Aaron replied with a grin. "I can't wait to see what you want to show me." Lyra's smile widened. "Patience is part of the lesson. The ocean moves slowly, and so must you." Carefully, Aaron followed her as she led him along the shoreline. Today, they would go into the deeper parts of the ocean where few humans had ever set foot, or Finn in Lyra's case. She explained that the Alari had learned to live in harmony with every wave, every creature, every current. Humans, she said, often rushed, missing the quiet beauty around them. As they walked, Aaron asked questions. "How do you communicate underwater?" Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Through sounds, through light, through movement. Every wave carries meaning," she demonstrated by dipping her hand into the water, sending tiny glowing ripples that changed shape as they spread. Aaron watched in amazement, seeing messages that were invisible to most humans. "You make it look so easy," he said, trying to imitate her movements. The water swirled around his hands, and for a moment he felt clumsy. Lyra laughed, a soft musical sound that made his heart warm. "Humans are always trying," she said. "That is good. Your curiosity is strong, and it can teach us too." Aaron smiled. "Teach you? How could I do that?" "Through your stories, your songs, your ideas," Lyra explained. "Your world has things our ocean has never seen. I want to understand them." Curious, Aaron pulled a small device from his bag. It could play music from his planet. He pressed a button, and soft human melodies filled the air. The notes were strange and unfamiliar to Lyra, but she tilted her head and listened closely. "This is beautiful," she said finally. "The sounds, they carry feelings. They are different from our songs, yet they speak to the same heart." Encouraged, Aaron hummed along, and soon he was laughing as Lyra tried to mimic the sounds using her own musical voice. The attempt was not perfect, but it was joyful. Each mistake became a moment of shared laughter, and each success brought a quiet sense of wonder. After a while, Lyra led Aaron farther into the water. They reached a glowing grove of underwater plants, whose leaves shimmered with soft light. Small creatures darted in and out, leaving trails of color behind them. Aaron reached out carefully, amazed at how alive everything seemed. "Everything here is connected," Lyra said, moving beside him. "See how the plants, the creatures, the water, all of it moves together. If one thing changes too fast, the balance is lost." Aaron nodded, thinking about his own planet. Humans often took without thinking of balance, always seeking to change the world quickly. But here he could see patience, understanding, and harmony. He realized how much he had to learn, and how much he wanted to learn from Lyra. As the sun climbed higher, they rested on a small, floating rock. Aaron shared stories of his childhood on Earth, tales of forests, mountains, and rivers that Lyra could barely imagine. In return, Lyra told him of her people's songs, the ancient ways of reading currents and the traditions passed down through generations. Despite the differences in their worlds, they found similarities too: curiosity, friendship, the joy of discovery. Each story, each shared laughter brought them closer. Aaron felt a connection that went beyond words, and Lyra sensed a kindred spirit in this bold, gentle human. By evening, they returned to the shore. The sky was painted in soft purples and oranges, reflecting on the calm water. Lyra turned to Aaron. "You are learning quickly, but remember, the ocean teaches slowly. Do not rush the next lesson." "I'll wait," Aaron said softly. "I want to learn everything. From you, from this place, from your world." Lyra's eyes softened. "And I will teach you. But also, you teach me. Humans carry courage that can move hearts. I have seen it in you." A quiet moment passed. The ocean waves whispered around them, carrying a rhythm that only the two of them could truly feel. Neither spoke, but both understood that something special was beginning, a bond that bridged worlds, a friendship that might one day grow into something deeper. As the stars appeared above the horizon, reflecting on the gentle waves, Aaron realized that meeting Lyra had opened a door, not just to another world, but to another way of seeing life. One that was patient, kind, and full of wonder. And for the first time, he felt that space was not only vast and mysterious, it could also be filled with connection, curiosity, and maybe love. The next day, the sky over the ocean was bright and clear. Aaron and Lyra set out again, ready to explore deeper waters. Irene felt a quiet excitement. Every moment with Lyra was a new discovery, not just of the planet, but of her gentle, curious mind. As they walked along the shoreline, Aaron noticed something in Lyra's expression, a shadow of worry he had not seen before. "Lyra," he asked softly, "is something wrong?" She paused, looking out over the waves. "It is nothing dangerous," she said slowly. "But my people are cautious about humans. They fear that humans may bring change too quickly, without thinking of balance." Aaron's heart sank a little. He had hoped his curiosity and care would be enough. "Do you think they would not accept me?" he asked. Lyra looked at him with a calm, almost sad smile. "Perhaps. But that does not mean you cannot learn from each other. It only means that patience is needed." They spent the morning exploring a coral-like reef that glowed faintly under the sunlight. Small creatures swam around them, curious but careful. Aaron tried to follow Lyra's guidance, moving slowly and respecting every part of the ecosystem. But he could feel a tension in the water, a silent reminder that not everything was simple. Later, when they returned to the beach, Aaron joined the ship's communications deck. He spoke with Mila and the rest of the crew. "Lyra's people are cautious," he said. "I understand. But I also think they could see that humans can care about balance too." Mila nodded. "Just remember, Aaron, your closeness with her might make others uneasy. Some of the crew feel that we should focus on the mission, not on friendship with a local species." Aaron frowned. "I know, but this is bigger than the mission. Meeting Lyra, it's not just friendship. I feel like she's teaching me things that the mission never could." Even as he said it, Aaron realized how complicated this would be. Two worlds, two sets of rules, two hearts, how could they all find harmony? That evening, he met Lyra again near a glowing tide pool. She was watching the water ripple over the small creatures inside. "Aaron," she said softly, "I wanted to show you something important." She guided him to a hidden part of the shore, where the ocean glowed with gentle lights. Small plants emitted soft pulses, and tiny animals moved in patterns that seemed like dance. "This is a sacred place for my people," she explained. "They come here to understand balance, to learn patience, to see how all life is connected." Aaron looked around, amazed. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." Lyra's gaze met his. "Humans sometimes change too quickly. They take what they need and leave the rest behind. That is why my people are cautious. But you are different. You watch, you listen, you learn. That is rare." Aaron felt warmth spread through him. "I want to understand, Lyra. Not just your world, but you too." For a long moment, they were silent, just looking at each other. Aaron realized that Lyra's calm strength balanced his human boldness. She had patience, wisdom, and grace, qualities he had not known he needed. And yet he also realized that their closeness might never be simple. "Tomorrow I must return to my people," Lyra said finally, her voice a little heavier. "They will ask questions. They may not understand why I spend so much time with you." Aaron nodded. "I understand. I want to do the right thing for you, for your people. And for us," Lyra smiled softly. "That is all I ask." "You are brave, Aaron. But courage alone cannot solve every problem. Patience and respect are needed as well." The night fell over the glowing ocean, painting the sky with stars. Aaron looked at Lyra and wondered how two beings from such different worlds could ever truly connect. And yet, he could not deny the growing bond between them. A quiet thread of trust and understanding, slowly weaving through the gaps of difference. Before parting, Lyra placed her hand gently over Aaron's. "The path is not easy," she said. "There will be challenges and perhaps fear. But if we are honest, patient, and careful, we may find that the stars themselves cannot separate us." Aaron's heart lifted. "I will try," he said, "no matter what." As he watched her move back toward the waves blending with the shimmering ocean, Aaron understood that this was only the beginning. Their worlds were different, their people cautious, and the path uncertain, but for the first time, he felt that the distance between them could be crossed. Across the stars, he thought, connection was possible. And sometimes the courage to care and the patience to wait were more powerful than any journey through space. And so, under the soft light of distant suns and the gentle glow of the ocean, Aaron and Lyra began to face the first true barrier between them, not one of distance, but of understanding, fear, and the delicate balance of trust. The next morning, the ocean was calm and sparkling under the sunlight. Aaron felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today he would go farther into Lyra's world than ever before. She had promised to show him the heart of her ocean, the places humans rarely saw. Lyra waited for him at the shore, her skin glinting in the early light. "Are you ready, Aaron?" she asked, her voice gentle but firm. "I'm ready," he replied. "I want to see everything you want to show me." Together they moved into the water, which was warm and welcoming. Aaron tried to move as gracefully as Lyra, but he felt clumsy at first. Lyra laughed softly. "Patience," she said. "You cannot force the ocean to follow your pace. You must move with it." As they swam farther from the shore, the water deepened, glowing with colors he had never imagined. Strange plants floated in the currents, shimmering in blue and gold. Small creatures swam in schools, their movements synchronized like dancers in a perfect rhythm. Aaron watched in awe. "This is incredible," he whispered. "I have never seen anything like it." Lyra smiled. "The ocean is alive. Every movement, every sound, every ripple has meaning. You must listen to it, not just see it." Aaron nodded, trying to focus. For the first time he realized that exploration was not just about discovering new lands. It was about understanding them. And understanding required patience, respect, and care. Suddenly a strong current swept past them, pushing Aaron slightly off balance. He flailed, but Lyra reached for his hand. "Hold my hand," she instructed. "Trust me. The ocean can be strong, but we can move together." Aaron took her hand, feeling the strength in her grip. Together they adjusted to the current, letting it guide them instead of resisting it. When the water calmed, he felt exhilaration mixed with admiration for Lyra. Her courage and calmness made him feel braver than he had ever been. Further along, they reached a hidden cavern beneath the water. Bioluminescent plants lit the walls, and small creatures glided silently through the glowing streams. "This is where the balance of our ocean is strongest," Lyra said. "The currents here control tides and weather across the planet. If anything happens to this place, all life in the ocean is affected." Aaron was silent, staring at the glowing wonder. "I never realized how connected everything is," he said. "Your world. It's so beautiful and so fragile." "Humans often take what they need without thinking," Lyra said softly. "That is why my people are cautious. But you are learning, and you care. That matters." They worked together to examine the cavern's currents, adjusting small mechanisms left by Lyra's people long ago. Aaron learned how each movement could shift water patterns and even prevent storms from forming. It was difficult, but he trusted Lyra's guidance, and slowly, they restored balance. As they finished, Aaron turned to Lyra. "I could never have done this alone. You make everything possible." Lyra looked at him, her eyes shining with warmth. "And you make courage feel gentle," she said. "Sometimes humans act quickly and recklessly, but you listen. That is rare." For a long moment they floated together in the calm water, feeling the peace of the ocean around them. The sun's rays filtered through the water, painting golden patterns on their faces. Aaron felt a quiet happiness he had never known, a mix of pride, connection, and a growing affection for Lyra. Finally, they returned to the shore, tired but exhilarated. Aaron looked at her and smiled. "Thank you, Lyra, for trusting me, for teaching me, for everything." Lyra's lips curved in a gentle smile. "And thank you, Aaron, for learning, for caring, and for being brave. Not all humans would have stayed to understand the ocean." The sky turned orange and purple as the sun began to set. Aaron realized that their journey together was more than exploration. It was the start of something meaningful, something that went beyond friendship. He felt a bond with Lyra that he could not explain with words alone. As the stars began to appear in the night sky, reflecting on the calm ocean, Aaron thought about the path ahead. There would be challenges, both from their worlds and from the universe itself. But he felt ready. Together, he and Lyra could face anything. And for the first time, Aaron understood that adventure was not only about seeing new places, it was about discovering connection, trust, and the quiet strength of love that could grow even between two very different beings. The sun rose slowly over the horizon, casting a golden light across the calm ocean. Aaron stood on the shore looking out at the waves. He thought about the adventures he had shared with Lyra, and a strange feeling stirred in his chest. It was more than friendship, something quiet and tender, something he had never experienced before. Lyra appeared beside him, her silver skin glowing in the morning light. "Good morning, Aaron," she said softly. "Are you ready to continue today's lesson?" Aaron smiled, though his thoughts were elsewhere. "I'm ready," he said, trying to hide the nervousness in his voice. He wanted to tell her how he felt, but the words seemed too fragile, too uncertain. As they moved into the water together, Lyra guided him through a series of exercises in the glowing ocean currents. Aaron focused on moving with the water, learning to sense the patterns of life beneath the surface. But every time he glanced at Lyra, his heart skipped a beat. He admired her grace, her patience, and the quiet wisdom that seemed to flow from her every movement. Lyra noticed his occasional pauses and the way he sometimes lingered close to her. "You are distracted," she said gently, her voice carrying no judgment, only curiosity. Aaron laughed softly, a little embarrassed. "Perhaps I am. There's so much to take in, and, well, you make it even more amazing." Lyra tilted her head, studying him. "I see," she said quietly. "Humans often feel emotions quickly, and sometimes they hide them." "You are hiding something, Aaron, are you not?" He hesitated, unsure if he should admit it. Maybe I am," he finally said. "But I don't want it to make things complicated. I enjoy being here, learning from you." Lyra nodded slowly, understanding more than he realized. "Feelings are not always simple," she said. "They grow quietly like the tides. Sometimes you cannot stop them, and sometimes you must let them guide you carefully." Aaron listened, feeling the truth in her words. It comforted him and made him more aware of the bond forming between them. They moved together in the water, guiding each other through the glowing plants and small creatures that danced in the currents. Their teamwork had grown strong. They no longer needed words for every movement. Trust had become their language. After some time, they rested on a floating rock, watching the sunlight shimmer across the ocean. Aaron shared more stories of his home planet, how humans built cities, how they celebrated festivals, and how they watched the stars, dreaming of adventures like this one. Lyra listened carefully, fascinated by his tales. "I wish your people could see this world," Aaron said softly. "I think they would learn something important from it." "And perhaps they will one day," Lyra replied. "But for now, this is our place. Our shared time is special because it is just ours." Her words struck Aaron deeply. He realized that he wanted their time to last, that he wanted to stay close to her even when it might not be easy. But the thought of their differences, the caution of her people, the expectations of his crew, made him hesitant. As the day passed, Aaron noticed small moments that filled him with warmth. The way Lyra's hand brushed against his accidentally, the quiet laughter they shared, the comfortable silence when they floated together in the glowing water. Each moment seemed ordinary, but to Aaron they were extraordinary. When the sun began to set, painting the sky in soft purples and oranges, Lyra turned to him. "Aaron, tomorrow we must go farther into the ocean. There are currents that test balance and patience. You will need to focus." "I'll be ready," he said, though his thoughts lingered on her words. "And I want to be ready for whatever comes with you." Lyra's eyes softened and she nodded. "Then we will face it together. But remember, courage alone is not enough. The heart must be patient and the mind must be calm." That evening, as the stars appeared above the horizon, Aaron sat alone on the shore for a while. He thought about Lyra, about the way she had shown him patience, courage, and understanding. He realized that his feelings for her were growing stronger each day, hidden beneath the surface like the quiet currents of her ocean, and he knew that these feelings would not remain hidden forever. One day he would have to be honest, with Lyra, with himself, and with the worlds that separated them. But for now he would treasure their shared moments, letting their bond grow slowly, carefully, across the glowing waters, because sometimes the most important journeys were not through space, but through the quiet paths of the heart, paths that could connect even the most different of beings. The sun rose slowly over the distant horizon, spilling golden light across the quiet ocean. Aaron stood at the edge of the shore, his thoughts heavy. Today, he and Lyra would face a decision that could change everything. The exploration mission was calling him back to the ship, back to the stars, and he felt the weight of leaving her behind. Lyra appeared beside him, her skin shimmering in the sunlight. She had a calm presence, but Aaron could see a hint of worry in her eyes. "Aaron," she said softly, "you seem troubled. What weighs on your heart?" He looked at her, unsure how to begin. "The crew, the mission. I am needed on the ship, and soon we must leave this planet." He paused. "But I don't want to leave you." Lyra's gaze softened. "And I do not want you to go, but you must consider your responsibilities. Humans have paths that we cannot fully understand, and yet the heart cannot always follow only duty." Aaron took a deep breath. "I feel the same. I want to continue my mission, but I want to stay here with you. I don't know what to do." Lyra extended her hand and he took it. "Then we must decide together," she said. "There is no right answer, only what we are willing to choose." They moved into the water, letting the waves carry them gently as they talked. Lyra explained that her people's ocean currents were shifting, requiring careful attention. If the currents were not guided properly, storms could form that would affect all life on the planet. She needed Aaron's help, but she also wanted him to have the freedom to make his choice. "I want to help," Aaron said, feeling a surge of determination. "I want to be here for you, for this world." "And for us," Lyra smiled, her eyes glowing. "Then you are brave not only for facing danger but for listening to your heart. But understand, this choice will not be easy. It changes everything." Together they worked through the day, guiding the currents and adjusting the delicate balance of the ocean. Each movement required focus, patience, and cooperation. Aaron marveled at how seamlessly Lyra communicated with the water, with the creatures, and even with him. He felt a deep respect for her strength and wisdom. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the glowing water, Aaron knew he had to speak. "Lyra, I've thought about it all day. I don't want to leave this place, not when I am with you. My heart, it is already here." Lyra's eyes softened and she reached for his hand. "And mine is with you, Aaron. But we must consider what comes next. The crew, the mission, your world calls you. Yet the heart cannot be denied." They sat together on a floating rock, the ocean glowing softly around them. The silence was comfortable, filled with understanding and a shared feeling. Aaron realized that he had never felt such clarity before. Lyra was no longer just a guide or friend. She had become part of his journey, part of his life. Finally, Lyra spoke. "If you stay, you will face challenges not only from your own people but from mine. Some may not understand, but if your heart is sure, then we can face them together." Aaron nodded, determination filling him. "I am sure, Lyra, I choose to stay. I want to learn more, to help, and to be with you." A soft smile spread across Lyra's face and she gently squeezed his hand. "And I choose you, Aaron. I will step beyond the caution of my people and join you on this journey. Together we will face what comes, across the oceans and across the stars." As the sky turned shades of purple and gold, they sat together in silence, letting the quiet of the ocean wrap around them. The decision was made, but both knew that challenges still awaited. Their path would not be simple, and the distance between worlds was not yet gone. Yet in that moment, Aaron felt a sense of peace he had never known. The choice was not only about staying, it was about trust, courage, and love. He realized that sometimes the hardest choices were also the most rewarding. As the stars began to appear in the night sky, reflected in the gentle waves, Aaron and Lyra understood that their journey was only beginning. The ocean had taught them balance, patience, and the importance of listening to one another. Now the universe itself awaited them, filled with endless possibilities. And together they knew no distance was too great, no challenge too difficult, and no world too far. Across the stars and across the oceans their hearts were bound, ready to face whatever adventures the universe had in store. The Aurora floated quietly above the shimmering oceans, its sleek body reflecting the last rays of the setting sun. Aaron stood on the observation deck, watching the waves ripple below, and felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, he and Lyra would leave the planet together, embarking on a journey across the stars. Lyra approached, her silver skin glowing softly in the ship's lights. "Are you ready, Aaron?" she asked, her voice calm but carrying a quiet anticipation. "I am," he replied, taking her hand. "I've waited for this moment to explore not just your world but the stars. With you." She smiled, and together they walked toward the ship's small shuttle, which would carry them from the planet's surface to the main vessel. Lyra paused at the water's edge. taking one last look at the ocean that had shaped her people's lives. "This place will always be a part of me," she said softly. "And now it will be part of our journey," Aaron nodded. "And I will help keep it safe wherever we go." The shuttle lifted smoothly into the sky, leaving the glowing oceans behind. Aaron watched as the planet became smaller and smaller, until it was just a blue dot among countless stars. Beside him, Lyra reached for his hand again, and he felt a quiet joy in their shared journey. As they entered the Aurora, the crew greeted them warmly. Some still looked uncertain, but the captain spoke with confidence. "We welcome you, Lyra. The stars are wide, and together we will see many wonders." Lyra smiled at the human crew, feeling their curiosity and respect. She realized that even though humans were different from her people, they shared a love for exploration and learning. And that love, she knew, could bridge any gap between worlds. Aaron and Lyra settled into the observation deck, gazing out at the endless expanse of space. Stars stretched in every direction, twinkling like distant dreams waiting to be discovered. "It's beautiful," Lyra whispered. "Yes," Aaron agreed. "And it's even better with you here." She looked at him, a soft blush warming her cheeks. "You humans speak in strange ways," she said, though her eyes shone with warmth. "But I understand what you mean." The next days passed in a blur of wonder. The Aurora traveled from system to system, exploring new planets, passing through asteroid fields, and observing distant suns. Aaron and Lyra worked side by side, learning from each other. He taught her about human technology, music, and stories. She shared her knowledge of natural balance, patience, and how to read the subtle currents of energy in space. Each day, their bond grew stronger. They laughed together, explored together, and sometimes simply sat in silence, watching the stars and feeling the quiet hum of the ship around them. The distance between their worlds seemed less important now. Their hearts had found a shared rhythm. One evening, as the ship glided past a bright nebula, Aaron turned to Lyra. "I never thought I could feel at home so far from Earth," he said. "But with you, I feel like I belong." Lyra reached out, brushing her hand lightly against his. "And I never thought I could feel this way beyond my ocean," she replied. "But now I cannot imagine being anywhere else." They shared a quiet smile, the stars outside reflecting their connection. For the first time, both understood that love could be patient, gentle, and brave all at once. Across the stars, they had found something rare, a bond that transcended worlds and differences. Days turned into weeks as the Aurora continued its journey. They discovered strange planets with floating islands, oceans that glowed under alien moons, and forests of towering crystalline trees. With each new world, Aaron and Lyra's teamwork grew stronger. They learned to rely on each other, trust each other, and celebrate the wonder of discovery together. And yet they never forgot the lessons of the ocean, the importance of patience, balance, and listening. No matter how far they traveled, the memory of Lyra's world and the quiet beauty of their shared adventures grounded them. One night, as they floated in the observation deck, Lyra whispered, "The stars are many, but with you, I feel that we can explore all of them." Aaron smiled, squeezing her hand. "Together we will. Across oceans, across worlds, across stars, we will face everything side by side." The stars stretched endlessly around them, each one a spark of possibility, and together, they knew that no distance was too great, no challenge too daunting, and no universe too vast. Their journey was just beginning, but already it was filled with hope, adventure, and a love that could cross even the greatest of distances. For Aaron and Lyra, the stars were no longer distant dreams. They were a home they could share, a horizon they could face together, and a promise of countless adventures yet to come. The Aurora floated silently through the endless black of space, stars twinkling like tiny lanterns across the dark sky. Aaron stood at the observation deck, his hand gently holding Lyra's. He felt a quiet joy that had grown steadily since the day they first met on her ocean world. Together they had crossed oceans, planets, and now the stars. "It feels different, doesn't it?" Lyra said softly, her silver skin glowing under the starry light. "Being among so many stars, it is both beautiful and endless." "Yes," Aaron agreed. "And I think, with you, it doesn't feel endless in the scary way. It feels full of possibility." Lyra looked at him, her eyes shining with understanding. "And together, we can face it all." Their journey had taken them to places no human or Alari had ever seen. They had discovered floating islands above glowing oceans, forests of crystalline trees that sang softly in the wind, and skies filled with drifting lights that pulsed like music. Every discovery had been shared, every challenge faced side by side, and every step had drawn their hearts closer. But it wasn't just the wonders of space that had changed them. Aaron had learned patience and balance from Lyra, and Lyra had learned courage and boldness from him. They had taught each other to see the universe not only as explorers, but as partners, understanding, respecting, and trusting one another. One evening, as the aurora drifted past a golden nebula, Lyra turned to Aaron. "Do you remember the first time we met?" she asked softly. Aaron smiled, the memory vivid. "On your ocean world. I had no idea what to expect. And then I saw you gliding through the water. Everything changed that day." "Yes," Lyra said. "And since then, we have learned so much together. About the stars, about the worlds, and about each other." Aaron took a deep breath, feeling the quiet courage he had found in himself. "Lyra, I've realized something. The stars are beautiful, the planets are amazing. But the most incredible thing I've discovered is you. Being with you makes every world brighter, every journey easier, every challenge worth facing." Lyra's eyes softened, and she reached up to touch his face gently. "And you have taught me, Aaron, that courage can be gentle, that love can be patient, and that two hearts can cross even the greatest distances." They stood together in silence for a moment, feeling the quiet hum of the ship and the vastness of space around them. Then slowly they joined hands, feeling the bond that had grown from curiosity, friendship, trust, and love. Their hearts had crossed oceans, faced fears, and discovered the beauty of connection across worlds. And now they looked forward to a future full of possibilities. The crew of the Aurora noticed the change too. Lyra had become part of their family, and together with Aaron they shared knowledge, laughter, and stories from both human and Alari worlds. It was clear to all that love, courage, and curiosity could bridge even the greatest gaps between species. Days turned into weeks, and the ship explored more systems, discovering new wonders and learning from every world. Aaron and Lyra faced challenges together, meteor showers, strange planets, and unknown life forms. But with each trial, their bond grew stronger. They had learned to rely on each other, trust each other, and celebrate every small victory along the way. One night, as they floated in the observation deck, Lyra whispered, "Aaron, look at the stars. So many, yet each one is a reminder of how far we have come and how far we can still go." Aaron smiled, squeezing her hand. "And no matter where we go, we will go together. Across the stars, across oceans, across worlds. We are stronger because we are together." Lyra rested her head on his shoulder, feeling the warmth and safety of his presence. "Then let us continue. There is so much to see, so much to learn, and so much to share." The Aurora glided forward past the nebula, through fields of distant comets, and into systems filled with light and color. And as the stars stretched endlessly around them, Aaron and Lyra felt a sense of peace and hope. Their journey was not the end. It was only the beginning of a lifetime of adventures together. For the first time, both knew with certainty that no distance was too great, no world too different, and no challenge too difficult to face when hearts were united. Across the stars they had found a home, not a place, but each other. And with that, Aaron and Lyra looked toward the endless horizon, ready to embrace every new world, every new discovery, and every moment of wonder. Together,